what we're doing is we're paying off something small so that we can get the good feelings of paying off something small. And then we take the minimum payment plus the extra we were putting on that debt, we snowball that into the next largest debt. And then we keep adding that money, paying off the next larger, and the next larger, and the next larger, and eventually we're out of debt, correct?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. So it's about getting small wins to get to bigger wins. I get that. Okay. Let me show you what's going on here with this idea. So we're going to reset this for John and Rebecca Jones and how they pay off their debt. And we're going to take a look at what's going on when we pay off debt. Okay. So now, if we take a look at paying off the smallest debt, what happens, folks, is we're not paying attention to how much interest we're actually paying on that debt. We're not paying attention to it. So watch this when we're talking about John and Rebecca Jones. I'm going to show you their accounts right now. They have $500 in their checking account. They have about $5,000 in their savings account. They have an auto loan that's $25,000. 4%, we got $2,000 on the credit card, but it's at 21% interest, and $200,000 mortgage at 6%. So we got total liabilities around $227,000. I need you to take a look at the upper right-hand corner. We can now see that John and Rebecca Jones, by using the P.I.L.L method, will not pay $179,497 in interest. We already know that already. And because of the interest they're not paying, they'll be out of debt in 7.7 years. 7.7 years. Let me give you some insight in the action plan. In the action plan is where our budget is. We track our budget here. Okay. When we're tracking our budget, we can see that John makes $950 here. When he's making his $950 we're going back to June 1st and bring you up to this month. So we're going back to June, and in June 1st, John made $950. He told the program he made his $950, and he executed that, and then it disappeared from his screen. It disappeared from the action plan, but it was added to his virtual bank account. And his virtual bank account now has $1,450 in it, and his real bank account has the same $1,450. So the program knows how much he has. So now, if he pays the mortgage, they will subtract that money from the bank account. We must also subtract the $1,199.10 from the virtual bank account as well. So we pay the mortgage, and it's just that easy, folks. It is just that easy. And the utility bill is around $200. But guess what? The utility bill being around $200, what if the utility bill, and I want to show you something here. What if the utility bill is only about $150 this month? Okay, I want you to see the $179,497. So the program says, well, you were going to spend $200 this month, but you didn't spend the whole $200. You only spent $150 of it. What are we going to do with that other $50? Watch $179,497. So the program says, all right, here's what we're going to do. Pay that. Do you see? The interest savings went up because that $50, the program says, you know what? I can kill some additional interest with that money and not just keep it. And the more interest we kill, the faster we get out of debt. The more interest we kill, the faster we get out of debt. So by tracking your income and outgo, whenever you're under budget, go ahead and we'll figure out how much interest you could save. It's like gathering up the fragments that nothing be lost. Okay? Gather up the fragments, folks. So here's what's going on. I want to show you something here. Do you see the red and blue arrows here? As we go through the month, the program is going to say, listen, I see how much you need to pay on your bills each month. Even this $1,300 in unitemized budget, meaning that's part of the money they can spend for just having some fun. I mean, just going out enjoying life. they can spend that money every single month along with everything else and still get out of debt in 7.7 years. So this is not about not having fun. This is not about staying home and not going anywhere and not doing anything. This is not about driving a 30-year-old car forever. Miss Dawn, do you believe in driving a 30-year-old car forever? Okay. How about you, credit goddess? How about eating beans and rice 7 days a week? How about cutting up your credit cards so that you can get out of debt faster? No cutting up the credit cards.
Not even that.
Okay. Not driving a 30-year-old car till the wheels fall off.
Oh, no.
Okay. Listen, you can live well and get out of debt, folks. You can live well. So we just have to manage it. We just figure out how much we want to spend each month just to have some fun and have some fun. Listen, life's too short. Life's too short. So here's what we're doing. So if we allow the program will say, you know what? At this point, on the 5th of the month, you have money in checking. You have $150.90 in checking you don't need for anything else. Put it in your savings account and hold it there. Then by paying some more bills and getting some more income, the program is going to say, oh, put this $388.72 in savings as well. But we're not putting any extra money on the debt this month. Okay, we're not, because the program is looking for the optimum time and the optimum day and the optimum amount and which loan to apply the money to figure out how do we save the most interest possible. We don't want to just save some interest, folks. Somebody needs to do the calculation to figure out how do we save the most interest possible, because the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in debt. Cut out that interest, you can get out of debt faster. Here's what we're saying. Now, we can take a look at the program here, and the window over to the left says, oh, if we start this out in June, the program is predicting by 8/7, we will have $3,170 in your savings account that you can take out of the savings account and apply that to the debt. Really? You mean after we've had fun, after we've paid the bills, after we've done everything else we wanted to do, we can still have $3,000 over above the $5,000 we already have in the bank to put that on the debt? Let's watch what happens when we do that. Now, the program is saying, I want to watch this now. I'm going to go down to where it says 8/7. So we're going to go down to 8/7 and see that the program wants to pay off the Visa. So when we click on that, we can see that the program wants to pay the Visa off to zero. And then we have $1,736.34 in interest we're saving because we have paid off the Visa. So in other words, if John and Rebecca had paid the Visa like Visa wanted them to pay, just the minimum payments, they would have paid $1,736.34 to get it, to pay it off. This way, they don't have to pay the $1,700. They just pay it off out of their savings account, out of extra money that was left over after they paid everything else, including their lifestyle, let's have some fun budget. Okay. So now watch this. I'm going to go into accounts. So now here's what we've got. All right. I've got 3 loans. I just paid off the Visa and my minimum payment is $50.88. I just paid the Visa off and I no longer have that minimum payment. I have 2 loans left. I got an auto loan at $25,000. I've got a mortgage with a balance of $199,000 on it. Debt snowball theory says, where should I now put my $50?
Auto.
On the auto loan. So a lot of people don't understand, okay, because that's what would normally do. That's the debt snowball theory. And here's what a question I ask in my book, folks. Here's a question I ask in my book. How much do you want to pay for your good feelings? How much do you want to pay for your good feelings? I'm getting ready to show you what that means. So we have built into the program where if you want to use the debt snowball, you can. We actually built the debt snowball into the program. Watch this.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, because watch this. I'm going over to preferences because we give you choices here, but we want you to know what your choices will mean. So we've got program focus setting. And right now, the program focus setting is on automatic. The program chooses how much to pay and when to pay and which loan to pay it on. Or you can hit the drop down and say, I want to do the debt snowball. I want to focus on the auto loan right now. Okay, you can choose that. And then the program will say, okay, we're not going to do automatic anymore. We're going to do debt snowball theory and focus on the auto loan. We can also switch it over to do avalanche method too. We can focus on one of the credit cards. We can do whatever we need to do.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.